Why do people think saying life's not fair justifies acting unfairly? Life is not fair. That's true, but that fact doesn't excuse your behavior. Okay, so I have said this to my children because not all decisions can be equitable and they perceive this to not feel fair to them. This is a bit different to people saying this to justify being totally twits or worse. In my experience, bullies love to use it. And historically they were total twats. That really depends on perspective. Life indeed is not fair. And while people like myself always try to be fair, it often comes at one's own detriment. There must come a point when you genuinely ask why should you give people the best of yourself only to deny yourself. Obviously, some people are assholes and either look for a justification or just straight up ignore justifying altogether and act on pure self-interest. Some others are just fed up that they've always tried to be the best person possible and got nothing but bullshit from the world in return. For those, I would say, the justification is actually quite valid, though it's a sad truth. It's not justifying it. That's kind of the whole point of that saying. It's like saying it is what it is, because sometimes shit sucks and you can't do anything about it. People don't usually say life's not fair to justify their own actions. They say it to explain why good people don't always receive good outcomes and you don't always get what you deserve. Some people are like, I have suffered and so should everyone else. Better people are like, I have suffered and I want to prevent that from happening to others. Can you expand on what the acting unfairly is? Reason I ask is there is a lot more nuance to this statement. Agreed. Life's not fair is the reason we have to be fair. This is actually a theological, religious argument I make. I'm a theist, but a good number of my theological arguments still are weirdly useful even in an atheistic philosophy. I believe that God created a universe with no sense of fairness or justice, but has a love of fairness and justice, so created the universe such that beings would evolve who had a social sense and an understanding of reciprocity and the ability to abstract and generalize concepts. And those beings would therefore discover and implement justice and fairness. I believe that one of the fundamental purposes of the existence of intelligent life is to create justice and fairness, because the universe does have a mechanism for fairness and ethical behavior. The only true fairness in an unfair world is everyone being treated unfairly fairly. It doesn't justify anything. The point of this phrase is not to give a valid argument. It's to give a statement that seems relevant and is entirely true, so you can't reject it, but does not add anything to the conversation. It's basically pulling away from the conversation, leaving you to debate with yourself. This is just tell it to the hand. All we need to do is keep fighting and stand out from the crowd. This way you can breathe more fresh air. I once had to resolve a dispute between two children. I came up with a compromise. Neither child was happy. Both children said, "That's not fair." Instead of saying, "Life's not fair," I said, "You're right and I agree with both of you." End of argument. Frequently, life is unfair. That has absolutely nothing to do with the 2020 election. Nope. Nada. Different question altogether. They are not. They are rejecting the notion that something must be done about the specific injustice that has been brought to their attention. They are assholes.